In our last session, we read a letter from a woman who was tired of her husband hiding the condition of the family finances from her. I agreed that what he was doing was morally and legally wrong, and I recommended that she clearly state what she required from him: a full disclosure of their finances now and at a specified time every month. But this must not be done with any irritation, or she'd simply be climbing onto the field of death with him, where she would lose. Now, back to the writer of the letter. Before we continue, you mentioned that you felt especially justified in being informed about the finances since you work full-time. Maybe. But for those wives who are listening in who do not work full-time, you do not have to work full-time to be a full partner in a marriage. People who use that kind of reasoning are holding their partners hostage. They ask their partners to stay at home to raise children or to take care of the home or whatever, and then they treat them as inferior members of the partnership just because they don't happen to bring home the paycheck. What a lie. You do not have to earn the money to be an equal financial partner, even in the eyes of the law. In every state that I'm aware of, the finances are shared in a marriage, and the partners do each other a huge disservice if they don't treat the financial resources in an equally shared way. If they withhold money from each other in any way, or if they withhold information about the money, they devalue the other person in an unmistakable way that screams, "I don't love you." And the relationship can't help but be injured seriously. Money is just one of many ways of communicating how we care about our partners. Now, what if your husband resists your requirements for full financial disclosure? That's not unlikely. Because remember, in his world, on the field of death, this control over money and the information about money gives him quite a bit of power. And in the absence of real love, power is a lot better than nothing at all. So he's not going to be eager to give up one of the only things in his life that gives him relief from the emptiness and pain he feels from the lack of real love. So what if he fights you and says he's not going to cooperate? You do not fight him. You do not become defensive. You do not become angry. If you do any of these things, you'll be jumping onto the field of death with him and you will lose. Pay attention here. You might get some of the short-term goals you want, but you'll lose. You won't feel peaceful or happy. Your marriage will be injured. You'll lose. So don't do it. But loving is not weak. There are still some powerful moves you can make. We've always been taught that the more angry the other person gets, the more angry we must get in order to defend ourselves, in order to win. Wrong. Two angry people just consume themselves in hate. As Gandhi used to say, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So as your husband resists you more, you won't even think of resisting him or fighting him. You'll be doing something entirely different, and we'll be describing that in our next session.